Alrighty, so I have not made a video on Ratatoskr in a while, and I mean, I've had some people comment and ask, but realistically, nothing has changed on the team, so there's not really been a real reason for me to make a video. Like, I could try different, like, new characters and stuff that come out, but none of them are really all that great. Like, I know Marilli will make videos on, like, some of the new characters, and he can make it all the way to floor 3, which is impressive with some of these, but it's really hard for them to kind of seal the deal, and if it's not like a team that can beat all 3 floors, then I don't really feel like it's worth coverage, personally. So, with everything going on, I have this is the team that I use every single week. I have beat it first try for the last 3 weeks in a row. The fact that I'm recording this means that it's going to go catastrophically wrong, and we shall see. I need to make sure that my gear is good. So the thing that I do is I put everybody on an HP set, because that's, or well, I guess technically not everybody's on an HP set, because with Liz right here, Liz, I use a set right here. I think I've covered this already, but if you don't know, it is a double defense on top and bottom, and then you have crit resistance pieces in the middle with full crit resistance rolls, and then the bottom rolls are actually recovery rate, because this is the character that you're going to be running your Tarmio Link on. I have seen some people, I think Amazing has made it pretty popular to use Tarmio Link onto the Valenti, which is completely fair. Whatever works, use it. I don't care who your stuff is on, as long as you're beating it. That's fantastic. This is just the setup that works for me. This is what I'm used to. This is what I use. So Tarmio Link on the Liz, that's the gear that I use for her. I don't have an HP defense set for Zeldris that has the middle pieces, and I don't make like crit resistance pieces or anything like that for the bottoms, typically. I guess I could go out of my way to make a rare set or something like that, but Valenti also has crit resistance pieces on the middle. Gloxenia has good stats and stuff like that in general because he's an LR, so he just sits on a regular HP defense set. He gets attacked maybe every once in a while, like not often at all. If he's not attacking into Liz, he's attacking into Valenti, and if he's not attacking into Valenti, sometimes he'll attack into Zeldris, but Gloxenia rarely ever gets attacked, and with this setup, it is very consistent that he attacks into the Liz like 95% of the time. Like, just every so often, if Valenti takes too much damage or something and I'm not healing correctly, she'll end up taking a stray hit or something, and if for some reason it's not her, it's Zeldris. So, HP defense on Zeldris, all of the normal stat rolls and everything like that, just regular HP defense and attack. The card set I use is the Deer card set. We're going to do the full run because I feel like I've gotten a really good hang of this fight, and I know that me saying that and recording this is gonna make it go really wrong, or I'm gonna make some stupid mistake during this, but I mean, I do this every single Monday anyway, so I figured I would just record this one for the people who just want an updated guide maybe, and I feel like I've got a pretty good hang of things. So for floor 1, things are pretty casual. Floor 1 and 2 are both very typical, I think, so I typically try to just throw away a couple of cards. Obviously, you're sealed. You can only use debuffs, and you can't use ultimates or anything like that. Not that you would even have an ultimate, but those gray debuffs get reapplied if you're not moving him in floor 1. So you just want to move him constantly around. You can't let him sit on the stumps for too long. I do draw a couple of extra Valenti cards here. The thing to note is that I use Zeldris as my main DPS, and I know that a lot of people use Melee because he can cleanse debuffs off and stuff, or like he just does really good damage and everything. I have really good results from Zeldris, and the main reason is because of his Holy Relic. Actually, is it his Holy Relic or is it his passive? I think it's... No, it's the Holy Relic. Increases allies' basic stats by 6% for each ultimate move gauge orb removed up to 5 times. So as we're going throughout the fight, I'm trying to move Zeldris' stuff around, get us basic stats for the whole team, because 30% basic stats, kind of ridiculous. So he is on the left pillar here. Let's go ahead and throw the Valenti card out. You want to use Valenti cards pretty frequently because of her passive. You want to try to start building up those attack-related stats and everything. I am going to probably throw this out to get some ultimate move gauge, move the Zeldris card for the first proc of his Holy Relic, and then just throw that AoE out. In the first floor, you really don't want to do too much damage to the other pillars. They're pretty tanky, though, so you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. The Zeldris AoE can hit kind of hard sometimes, but for the most part, it's his single target card or his ultimate that's going to be really drilling in big damage. So do just, you know, I mean, obviously, you're not supposed to be focusing on the pillars or the stumps or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them probably 1,000 different things in this. In the first floor. So I guess we'll just move him to the right because I have this. I mean, I do have extra Valenti cards. I'm getting a lot of these AoEs, which are poison. So I think I'm just gonna move this once. I could merge it, but I feel like the card draw for like getting these is kind of few and far between sometimes. So I'm going to. I think I'm just going to throw that away, so that way we get our ultimate with Liz. The only downside to having Zeldris is that you can't just move cards to get an ultimate. You kind of just have to use cards to get them, which can be a little bit of a challenge to get used to. You can see that he's attacking Valenti right here, which is kind of annoying, but I think it's just because she's taken a lot of damage and Liz was stunned, so it is what it is. But we can use the ult right here. That'll get her back up to full, and then he'll start attacking Liz again. We do have one debuff on here. Not that it's the biggest deal in the world. We could go ahead and use this to get him back to the middle. That'll cleanse the debuffs off. Use this to recycle the Liz passive. And I think I'm just going to throw this Gloxinia AoE card out, just because the Gloxinia AoE card is basically useless. Like, it's the only card in the whole deck that we have with this team that is really just not useful. I mean, it does a little bit of damage, so it's okay, but it's just not like, I'm not ever seeking that card out or anything, and if I ever get it, I'm tending to just throw it out just to get rid of it, so take that into consideration. We do need to make sure that we have Valenti's ultimate on on phase 3. Because it's so far away at this point, I am completely fine with just going ahead and getting rid of it right now. I guess I'm going to go ahead and merge these Zeldris cards, because this is going to kill. Gloxinia has Ruin, so that's going to do some pretty good damage. It did not deal 6 million damage. That was because the stumps died and everything, so get our Zeldris ultimate here. This one is, I think, okay, so this is the phase, I typically forget about this one, but this is the phase where using AoEs can be a bad thing. So I think we're going to buff here to get our ultimate on her. I can use the single target here into, I can go ahead and get rid of the ult. It's not the worst thing in the world. The AoEs are what you want to avoid in this phase, just because if you, the more you hit the pillars or the stumps, he's going to gain these blue buffs, and if he gets 5 blue buffs, he ends up getting a pretty substantial attack-related stat increase, so you don't want that to happen. I think I can't move a card, unfortunately, or else it'll get rid of the ultimate that we've played here, so I think I'll just go ahead and throw this AoE out. That'll give him 2 stacks. Because, I mean, I think there are some situations where he'll gain a stack with single targets. I'm not 100% positive on that. I think it's just AoEs, because he gets 2 here. I think maybe it's on his turn he can gain 1. Yeah, okay. So that's where, like, you kind of have to play around with it a little bit. Having the Liz AoE, because it can remove debuffs, or remove buffs because of the passive, is kind of important here. So I know that if I use another AoE, it's going to give him 2 more. Unfortunately, it's going to hit the pillars regardless, so even if I'm taking away the 3 here, which I need to anyway, it's going to give him 2 back. So that is a little bit of something that I have to deal with. Let's throw the single target with Glocks out, I guess, and then let's move the Zeldris card and use the single target. It does drain because he's an LR, which is kind of nice. I don't think... Okay, actually, this is going to kill. I wasn't sure that Gloxinia card was going to do enough. But, okay, that pushes phase. It's pretty good. I don't necessarily have to worry about having specific debuffs on. But, well, I guess for this final phase, it is a little important. So, let's go ahead and we can cleanse just to get rid of that card out of hand. I can't use the ultimate anyway, and we already have an AoE. So let's go ahead and move him to the left, because you have to move him to one of each of the pillars on this phase, so that way you can get rid of the damage reduction stack he has here. Because that's really, really strong, and you're not going to be able to do good damage to him without getting rid of that. So you have to move him to each of the pillars first, then that'll get rid of it. Am I maxed out on Zeldris? Okay, I am maxed out on Zeldris at this point. So I'm going to dump one of these AoEs from Valenti, I think, and then use the Zeldris AoE, I think. I'm just basically getting rid of it at this point. We're kind of just building up ultimate move gauge on him, so that way we can get our ultimate back. I mean, you want to debuff before attacking with Zeldris if possible, because he does do more damage to debuff targets because of his passive. So do take that into consideration. You have to use the Valenti AoE here to get him off the left stump, because on the left stump he has ranged immunity, and because all of Valenti's cards are ranged, you can't actually hit him with anything, and even the Gloxinia card is ranged, so I can't move him to the right, so I have to use the AoE to move him back to the middle and then move him to the right there. So, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably move him right first, like hit him with the Glox card, move him right, use the shot card, move him to the left, and then use the AoE to move him to the middle, or the ultimate to move him to the middle, so that way it's less cards used for the whole cycle, but I'm typically not too much of a stickler for that. So let's go ahead and ult, because why not? I don't really have any reason not to. Ranged immunity, so this won't deal any damage anyway. I think we'll just buff to recycle passive here, and then let's just move a Glox card, because I'm not too worried about anything else. We could have just like skipped the card, but it is what it is. If you have Zeldris like single target here, or his ultimate, obviously that will hit, but like I said, damage reduction and everything, I typically try to save Zeldris cards for the end anyway, which doesn't matter, I don't have any right now, so you know, there's a lot of RNG, of course. This fight is just really long in general. They did add the new 3x speed. I don't actually feel like it's doing all that much, but I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just not paying that much attention to it. I think I'm gonna just use the Zeldris card here. Actually, the Liz ult is gonna get me my passive or my ultimate, so doesn't matter. Let's move him right, because that's the last pillar we need to move him to, I think. And then I'm gonna get rid of one of these to recycle the passive, maybe. Actually, let's do... Sorry, obviously there's a lot going on with this fight. Let's use one of these AoEs from Valenti first, because he can. I'm pretty sure he can only have one debuff on at a time. We're gonna override it with the bleed, and then we're gonna throw out one of these attacks, because I don't want to use Zeldris' cards. We're gonna get full ultimate move gauge. We'll get another Valenti ultimate. We should be chilling. So he has poison. We override it with the bleed, so that way he moves right. We get our ultimates back. We have ultimate with everybody now, actually, so that should be pretty nice. We don't have the damage reduction anymore. Do note that, of course, he is melee immune at the moment, like close range immune. So we do have to worry about that a little bit. I need to keep him moving, of course. It kind of sucks that he stunned Glox here, because I would like to use the ultimate. It's not the biggest deal in the world, so I think we'll just move him back to the middle. Go ahead and hit him with the ultimate, and because this is a ranged card, I can go ahead and throw this out as well. We still have attack related from the Liz ult a turn or two ago, and then I think we'll just go ahead and throw the Liz ult out again, just to get it out of the hand, and then we can worry about drawing it again later. Ultimate does really good damage there. We do another AoE with Zeldris, who is really good. Probably could have killed there. Do note that as long as your turn is not over, you can Alt F4 out of the PC version, or you can close the app, like you can force close the app on PC or on mobile, and it will actually let you restart your turn over with again. So take advantage of that as much as you want. But I could have killed there probably if I would have used a Valenti card afterwards, but no big deal. Not really a huge issue. We are taking a little bit of damage here at the end of the turn, so I think what I'm going to do is try to throw out as many of these as possible, and then just try to kill him off right here, because I need to use the AoEs to heal as much as I can, so that way we're as full as we possibly can be. We're going to debuff him right here, and then the Ruin ultimate is going to be more than enough to kill, so boom. Very nice. That is floor 1 down. We are 15 minutes in. This fight is so long. Okay, so for phase, or floor, I get floor and phase mixed up a lot, so sorry if there's any confusion there. For floor 2, the idea with this one is that you need to kill the left and right pillars, so ideally, you want him to stay in the middle as much as possible. For me, I typically just throw out... actually, I'm not sure if he has can have more than one debuff on himself in this phase of floor. I typically just throw out as many AoEs as I possibly can. And because the Valenti AoE keeps him on the middle stump anyway, because it's poison, it doesn't really matter as long as I'm not using any of the other debuff cards. So... And plus, I mean, I need to deal damage to the side pillars anyway, so the fact that the Valenti single target and the Glock's single target are both debuff cards, I can throw it onto the pillars instead of the actual boss himself, because I have to get rid of those. So, unfortunate, we got really bad RNG there. He ends up putting 5 stacks onto Liz immediately, which is super, super bad. Do note that he is going to use this red card right here, which if it's a weak point, if we do not have at least one red debuff on the field, he basically just we get screwed. He gains way too many buffs and everything. So let's go ahead and use this, and I'm gonna move once and hit here. So the Valenti card that we're using is gonna cleanse 1 debuff from every ally. We're still gonna have 1 debuff on Valenti and Glocks, which means that we meet the requirements for his weak point skill to not completely screw us over. It doesn't actually apply debuffs either, which is great. Ultimate doesn't apply debuffs, which is great. It's only his regular attack cards that do. So boom, that's 2. The single target does put 2 on, and then we gained 1 right there at the end of the phase. So let us attack. Let's put a debuff on the right pillar. Because he's not using the weak point skill this turn, I can cleanse, actually. Let's use... I kind of want to... Yeah, I'm going to just move, so that way we get a little bit more Zeldris Relic, and it gives us the crit damage increase, and then we can use the AoE. Hoping that this kills the left pillar. It doesn't really matter. We're not debuffing him to the point where he would move anyway, but... Okay, just barely not enough damage to kill there. Like I said, the AoE, it's okay. It's not bad. It can actually do some good damage, but the single target's really where all the real damage comes into play. So, Valenti getting a little low. Luckily, Liz is also taking a good chunk of damage. Now we have 2 great debuffs on her. That's fantastic. Let's throw 1 Valenti card out here. I do not have a Zeldris AoE, unfortunately, so that kind of sucks. I think I can throw the Liz card out here, and maybe it'll kill both of these. I'm not 100% sure, but let's... If not, I'm going to use a Zeldris single target here into another Zeldris single target. So that way we just go ahead and eliminate the pillars. So the one on the right, definitely not dead. Zeldris AoE, or single target coming in handy here. And then we're going to ult gauge remove him a little bit. Not the biggest damage there because he was not debuffed, but we now have ultimate, so that's good. That'll give us the attack related that we need. Single target. Okay, into AoE. AoE only puts 1 on, so we're not too bad. He is not weak pointing this turn, so we can ult cleanse. I don't have any Zeldris cards, actually. Let's get rid of that Glocks card, and we already have another single target with Glocks. Not that I need it, so... let's go ahead and just throw that away to get rid of it, because we're recycling Liz passive, getting rid of all of those debuffs. We have big ults in hand, so that way we can hopefully just go ahead and push the phase here. So I don't know. Floors 1 and 2 are not too bad. I don't really have many issues at all with floors 1 and 2, but I mean, you know, there can be a couple of hiccups here and there depending on card draw RNG. Floor 3 is just really where like most of the issues lie, I guess. So, okay, that's quite a bit. Because he applies the 5th one on his turn, it actually doesn't give us a gray debuff, which is really good for me. I really think I need to just kill here. I don't have a cleanse, but I can throw other Valenti cards out to cleanse some of these debuffs off. But we're going to lose 1 gray debuff when we push phase as well, so that's something to take into consideration. I think we just go for something like this into... I think we're fine on health for the moment, so let's just go ahead and throw the Valenti card out. Because on phase 2, I'm pretty sure he just moves at random, so we're not actually going to be able to just outright kill, or like, yeah, kill any of the pillars on the left or right. And we're going to have to let him kind of do his thing, move around a little bit. So we are going to end up getting another gray debuff here, I have no doubt in my mind. Because even if it's 2 AoE cards, that's going to be 3 debuffs, so... Or 5 debuffs, sorry. She's looking a little low. She's still tanking very well. So, I mean, you know, that's something. That is the 3rd stack, so that's kind of annoying. I don't have great damage cards, which kind of sucks. Let's go ahead and... The Valenti cards typically do more, so I think I'm going to do something like this. I'm hoping that this is enough to kill. We gain attack-related stats. Valenti's, you know, increasing attack-related stats if she's not already maxed out. Glocks, please. Nice. Okay. There we go. Now we don't have to deal with this debuff insanity anymore. Now he's just going to move around, and we have to just make sure that we're killing the pillars. I typically, for some reason, gravitate towards killing the left pillar first most of the time, but obviously doesn't actually matter. Do whatever you want to do. Let's just go ahead and throw some of these Glock cards out because I have a bunch of them anyway. And then hopefully, please, let me draw some Zeldris cards so that way I can actually deal some damage. That is the problem, is that this fight is so support heavy because you need debuff cards and everything like that to play the gimmicks, and you know, it's just kind of a pain. So this ultimate's actually going to do some pretty good damage to the one on the left here. Do note that if you poison the middle pillar after you activate, like, I think you have to hit it. It might be with a single target. It might be with just any card, or just a regular attack card potentially. I guess I'll try that really quickly. You can, well, I guess I need to cycle Liz passive if I'm going to go ahead and use that, I think. Let's just use this to try and activate it, because like you'll hit the pillar, it'll put like a little gray debuff on. I'm not even sure what it is, but then once that gray debuff is on, if you have poison on it, it'll actually give your whole team all stats, which is nice. So we're gonna try to maybe just do this into some damage on the right pillar as well, since the left pillar's already taken a decent little bit here. So boom, good damage on the left pillar for sure. It did not put the little debuff thing on, so that's unfortunate. Right pillar is 1 HP. Okay, see, it put the mark on the right one. I don't know why it didn't put the one on the middle one. I'm sure some of you might know. If you do, let me know. Just, it's not like a huge deal by any means, but would be kind of nice to know. Let's go ahead and Liz ultimate, because why not? That'll actually give us a little bit of room in hand too. This will kill the right pillar. I don't have any Valenti cards, so we're going to get oxidized if I don't cleanse, which I'm not too worried about the cleanse. He doesn't have ultimate. I guess we'll just throw this out for now. We'll cleanse, whatever. We have extra cards in hand, so I'm not too worried about it. We got lucky. He just went back onto the middle pillar there, so that's good for us, because, I mean, sometimes he'll move to the right pillar, sometimes he'll move to the left pillar, and then you just kind of have to wait for him to move back without killing the middle pillar, or else he can't move back to the middle, so you'll mess up the gimmick. So, dealing some decent damage. Liz, of course, still has these gray debuffs on, so she's taking 30% max HP each turn. So that can be a little troublesome. He does put a couple of debuffs on there, nothing huge. Let's go ahead and we already have attack related and everything for Zeldris. let us debuff first before I forget. So let's just throw this out, debuff. AoE maybe into, I don't care that I'm dissolved, really. Valenti AoE, I guess. Because like I said, I'm not too worried about having debuffs necessarily for this floor, because I'm mainly just trying to kill the left and right pillars. So we'll see how much damage this does. Pretty decent, actually. I could have removed his ultimate, but most of the time the ultimate's actually not that big of a deal. Actually, I think this is going to be, yeah, it's going to be a turn where he's just not on the field, so we can go ahead and pop the ult to heal. Are we maxed out passive? We are not, actually, so let's go ahead and move that into maybe a merge, because that's going to increase the ultimate move gauge and take it off. So now we should be maxed out for Zeldris's Holy Relic, which is nice. Okay, he has Oxidize on us now again. I think we can kill this phase anyway, so let's go ahead and... I would like to keep the Zeldris card if possible here. I'm probably going to be a little greedy trying to keep that, but I'm hoping that these ultimates, they're not, would have been enough, but it's okay. We can stall for another turn anyway. Like I said, we're going to get ulted here, but the ultimate isn't too bad most of the time. Like, on some phases with some floors, he petrifies you. On some of them, it's just a spike, so it just does extra crit damage, but most of the time, it's not actually like a huge issue anyway. So here's the ult. This one's a spike, so it doesn't petrify. You know, Liz took a little bit of damage, but because we have those recovery rate rolls and everything with the Tarmiel link, dude, she's a monster. She's a tank god. So let's go ahead, and I unfortunately think to do enough damage to push forward, we're going to have to just throw a Zeldris card out. It is what it is. I'm not really that worried about it. We'll get rid of the dissolve on him, so that way we don't lose our ultimate. And then I think we'll just throw this Liz card away, because I have an extra Liz card if I want to recycle passive again. Boom, we kill. Easy peasy. And then we're in final phase. So that's nice. We are still taking a decent amount of damage. She'll lose one more of those gray debuffs, which is great. We just want to make sure that we finish with as much health as possible, of course. So the gimmick with this one is that he has a revive if you get him below 30%, but he also has a 33% damage cap or something like that. So we have to basically, we have like a 3% window where we could get him down before, like we would have to have him below 33% but above 30%, or else we proc the revive. So kind of annoying there. Sometimes it works out for me. Realistically, I don't even play for it, so it is what it is. Let's go ahead and throw some debuffs out, get rid of this Glock's card once again. We could cycle ultimate passive. I kind of want to just go ahead and get some damage out on one of the pillars here, so that way I can use the Zeldris ult and start building up his ultimate again. So decent damage there, 320, not bad. Boom. I mean, the one nice thing about Melee is that his ultimate is an AoE, and he has a really good AoE card, you know, once you pop his passive and everything. So you can take the pillars out faster with Melee, but this team is so tanky. Like, this is, this phase, whenever the fight first came out, was like really hard, because your team, that triple AoE would just do so much to your team. I have so many basic stats and like passives and everything, you know, right here, that I'm maximum chilling. I don't really take all that much damage on this phase anymore, so that's really, really good. Let's go ahead and do this. I'll shift a little bit of damage over there, and then we can do this. So this is good. Good damage there. I don't think this is going to kill the right pillar. Pretty close, though. I think it has a damage cap, and I'm pretty sure we hit it. Kill the left pillar. Actually kill the right pillar with Liz, so that's good. He is losing HP-related stats each turn, so he becomes less tanky, of course. So that's something, I guess. Pretty good chunk of damage there, but not enough, and then we just gain so much HP back, which is phenomenal. I'd love to keep the ultimate, but I kind of want to... Like, I could... Well, actually, it doesn't matter, because stun is first on her, which means that we can Valenti card and that will actually end up getting rid of the stun. So let's go ahead and cycle passive here. So we'll just see how much damage we're dealing to the boss. If we can go for the 33% damage cap kill, that would be great, just because it, you know, we won't get stalled for another 2 or 3 turns. But I think he does gain some stats whenever you pop the revive on him, but for the most part, as long as you can Liz passive, or like Liz recycle and get this ultimate, you know, at least every other turn, I've been completely fine with it. I mean, I know that's me being like, I have a good account, so take that into consideration, of course. So let's go ahead and throw this out, gain some more ultimate move gauge from it. Let's cleanse those debuffs off, and then I actually need to debuff first, so we'll do it like this. So we debuff, we throw the ultimate out. I could have used the single target from Zeldris, but like I said, I really don't mind the ultimate all that much most of the time, so we're cycling Liz passive anyway, so we're just going to immediately be able to heal anyway. Not a big deal. We are taking that little 15% damage from the Liz. If you get a better run with like phase 1 where he's not putting that many gray debuffs on, that's obviously ideal, but not a huge deal anyway. So he's not like life stealing any HP back. We would have to just like barely not hit damage cap, and I don't think I have a card that can do that. So I think we're just going to end up popping the passive here. Let's throw this into... We can ruin it, I guess, and then I could get rid of the ultimate. I'm not that worried about it. We can throw this out to cleanse an extra debuff off. Glox is going to still keep that dissolve on, which isn't like the biggest deal in the world. And we're pretty good on HP. I think maybe I do just go ahead and hit him with this. Glox is probably going to do a little too much here if I had to guess. Yeah, so he's going to pop the full heal. He now has a little bit of extra stats. I go ahead and debuff though, which is good. And then we actually take the ultimate move gauge off and hit damage cap with Zeldris, so that's nice. He's going to just hit me with a couple of cards here and everything. Shouldn't be too crazy. We actually have decent Zeldris cards, so that is very nice. I'll get my ultimate back as well for Zeldris, and we should be able to kill next turn. So let's go ahead and pop the ultimate. I don't even necessarily need to. I mean, I can just because I have the debuffs on, but I think instead I'm just going to throw a debuff out. Ult drain, so that way we're not taking like a ton of damage. This will get us our ultimate anyway, and then just get rid of the dissolve on us. So that way I keep my ultimate, and then I can heal next turn and just be fine. Because I mean, I'm getting my Zeldris ultimate here. I can ult with Liz beforehand, so that way I'm max HP. And then we should kill no issues because he's not going to ult here. He does gain some HP back. We get even more Zeldris cards, so this is perfect. Perfect. I have no gripes with this at all. Don't even necessarily have to cleanse. I mean, we're taking some decent little chunks of damage there, but we can full heal. That'll give us attack related. He's at like 35% HP, so I need to just to play it correctly, I want to debuff first, but that's going to heal us back to full. We debuff, we ult. That kills. So, easy peasy. Oh, easy peasy. Anyway, okay, moving on. We're 33 minutes into the recording, 34. Floor 3 is the longest one. So this is going to be a long video, but I hope that it helps, like, talking through it like this and everything. Okay, so this phase, mega annoying. I typically like to just go ahead and throw all 3 debuffs out and get rid of that Glox card turn 1. Because the whole gimmick with this phase, or floor in general, is that you need to put all 3 debuffs on to move him to the correct pillar to win. So, he needs to be on the right for the first phase. Every turn he stays on the right, we are going to, he's going to all stat lower himself. So at this point, we just need to kill the left and right, or the left and middle pillars. Keep him here. He's going to gain, actually, I guess because he's already, like, he just moved this turn. He won't gain it yet, but let's go ahead and debuff this pillar. Throw an AoE out. throw this out, and then maybe just move. I can't really move it this turn to lose ultimate move gauge, so maybe I just go ahead and throw it. Might be a little bit of a waste there. Probably should have just used the Liz card, so that was a little hasty of me, but should be okay. He is going to use his ultimate here, but hopefully it's not like too bad. I don't think it will be. Okay, we get some good Liz cleanses. Having Liz cleanses for phase 2 is like really, really helpful, so do take that into consideration. Okay, he's AoE after that, so that's good because we lose the petrification. Let's do this into this. I think I'm going to throw this out, and then I typically just like to have 2 cleanses going into the second phase. I'm not that worried about it, because one of the really nice things about Zeldris is that because his commandment is in play here, even if, like, on the second phase, it's going to be one of those scenarios where he's constantly putting debuffs on you. If you get too many, you get gray debuffs. You don't want gray debuffs going into the final phase, so you need to cleanse them off before you get too many. Zeldris, for example, like, I can just move a Valenti card. Boom. My debuffs are gone. Oh well. Like, haha. Get countered, nerd. So, you know, that's very, very helpful. You can see he's starting to lose his all stats here, so that's nice. I don't want to debuff him, so we're going to keep that Valenti AoE in check. We can throw this out into this out. That'll put 2 debuffs on both of these. Not that it really matters, but I'm going to move this into... I could get Liz's ultimate here. We're kind of chilling at the moment. I'm using a Valenti card, so we're going to get rid of those debuffs. And hopefully just deal with a little bit of damage here. The thing is, putting debuffs on him is going to move him. Using ultimates will also move him. So be very careful with the just spamming ultimates and stuff. I understand that Liz is your healer, and you want to get that ultimate so that way you can use it and you can be healthy. But you need to build up passives. You need to try to be as tanky as you can, so that way you do not move him off the right pillar. So in this scenario, I'm in a bit of a pickle, I guess. Like, I can move the Gloxenia ultimate just to get it out of my hand. Because of Zeldris commandment, he loses ultimate move gauge. And then we could just throw the Valenti card out here, maybe. And then throw an AoE into... We're going to gain ultimate anyway, so I'm going to just go ahead and throw out the other AoE. Would be nice to get some Zeldris cards here, of course, so that way I could kill these. I can use the ultimates to kill them. Obviously, if you use ultimates in the same turn that you're killing the left and the middle pillar, he can't move anyway. So take advantage of that if you can. This is actually pretty good. We do get another Liz buff, which is kind of nice. I mean, because he's losing all stats, like, he's going to start patience-ing you at some point. Like, just stall if you can. Just stay alive. So... you know, he just he basically just can't deal damage anymore. I think we could kill here. I'm not positive on that, but I'm going to go for it anyway. We're going to do this because this ultimate's an AoE, does some pretty good damage. This Glox card is an AoE, does some pretty good damage. That middle pillar might not die. Neither of them died. He moves. He moves. We are going to Alt F4. Alright, so just to show you, once you get back into the game, a battle was unexpected, or ended unexpectedly. Hit OK, takes you right back into the fight, back on our turn where we started, and like it never happened. So, use that as much as you want. It works. It does. And this fight is so time-consuming that you don't really want to get all the way into Phase 3, make a misplay, and then you're like, oh well, I'll just play it out. Like, just don't waste your time. Just reset. It's fine. It really is. So anyways, I guess we'll just not use our ultimate here instead. I think we'll just throw this out. Move this twice for ultimate move gauge and for Holy Relic as well. And we can use that. That'll actually give us more crit damage as well. So we're not gonna give him any reason to move here. We kill the left pillar. That's fine. Middle pillar is the only one left at this point, so that is cool. I would like to have all 3 debuffs in hand before pushing phase, so that way I can make sure that I can move him to the left pillar for phase 2. So that would be ideal. See, I really want to think that I could kill this right here, but I don't actually know if I can. Also, do not, well, I guess I can use the ultimate. Do not get a level 3 Liz buff in your hand. It doesn't do anything for you. If you put debuff immunity on yourself, I'm pretty sure he just immediately cleanses all of your debuffs off of you, or all of your buffs off of you. So the defense-related stats that you would get from this get wasted. So don't do that. Don't get a level 3. I know that level 3 would sound like it would be the best. It's not. So try not to let these merge as much as possible. Putting some decent stuff out there. I'm going to keep the Liz card for now. I don't have any of the debuffs that I need, so I'm going to move this. I only really need 2 of these in hand, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the ultimate. I'm going to get rid... Actually, because I just don't want to do that much damage to him in general, we're going to do this. I'm going to use the AoE first. I kind of want to keep the Zeldris cards, but I can't be too greedy here. I kind of need to just get stuff out of my hands so that way I can have the debuffs. Because I can't use an ultimate because that makes everything unpredictable. If you use the Valenti ultimate as your poison card, he could just move wherever he wants to at that point. It's just... Ultimates, bad. They are kind of a big thing that you have to work around with this fight. So, okay, he's, you know, like I said, he's got 70% all stats gone right now, so he is really weak. So be careful with how much damage you're doing to him, I guess. Obviously, you got to do something. So let's just merge these. I'm gonna get rid of it as well. It's gonna draw our ultimate back anyway. Actually, let's just go ahead and yeah, it doesn't matter. We're gonna draw the ultimate back no matter what. So I'm gonna just try to keep that level or the single target from Zeldris if I can. Okay, we get. I just need the Valenti shot card at this point. So it's Stallfest. It is what it is. I mean, you can go into the last phase without it. I mean, if you want to, you can risk it. I mean, he does kind of move a bit random. So, I mean, sometimes you can just go in and just throw an ultimate out and just hope that he goes to the right pillar or something like that. Like the correct pillar, not the right pillar. But I don't know. He's a wacky one. He's a weird fella. So let's go ahead and move these, merge these. I'm just gonna throw the ultimate out, and then move Zeldris so that way he doesn't actually draw his ultimate here because we won't draw card draw. Give me that shot card. Okay, there we go. So we're pretty much good at this point. I have an extra single target with Glocks, which is nice, and I can maybe go ahead and use one of these Zeldris cards to get some decent damage out. I think we're just gonna X those. I'm not worried about pushing for any ultimates right now. I guess technically I could have pushed for an ultimate. Well, I can't. I mean, moving cards loses my ultimate bouquet, so it doesn't even matter. Okay, extra shot card, which is actually kind of nice. I can probably use that to kill. He healed. I don't actually know if that's gonna kill or not. Let's throw this out. Get rid of this ultimate out of our hand for card draw, and then barely. I mean, it's fine. I mean, whatever card we draw right here, as long as it's an attack card. Okay, so we can actually, that's actually pretty good. We can use the Glocks AoE, which is typically pretty bad anyway. You can see he patience to everybody but Valenti. Valenti's the biggest problem on the team is just because she's so old. Her stats are just not good. Let's move this to get rid of that debuff as well, and then okay, that killed on its own. I could have potentially merged the AoE or the single target. Didn't really matter either way. Pull another cleanse actually, which is pretty good. So let's go ahead and triple debuff here. That's going to move him to the left, and I'm gonna single target. I'm gonna single target. Yes, we're gonna single target because I mean I got to use it eventually anyway. So boom, boom, boom. Triple debuff onto the boss. We're switching targets to the right pillar because it's debuffed. 764. That looked like around 50%. It almost looks like it's a little bit above. I'm not actually sure if these have damage caps on them or not. But just remember, I have to be very careful with ultimates here. I can't just throw ultimates out willy-nilly. The one good thing about this phase specifically is that after a couple of turns on the left pillar, he's going to stance. And once he is stanced, you can kind of do almost whatever you want. Like, once he's in stance, he really doesn't move. Or doesn't want to move, so I don't think I've ever seen him move while in stance. We're gonna cleanse these debuffs off. This is what the buffs are for, so we're gonna use that as much as possible. This is a 2-turn bleed. I'll go ahead and throw that out on the middle pillar just in case I can use that, and then I have a little too many ultimates in hand, which is unfortunate, and I'm about to draw the Liz one as well. I think I just throw this Liz card out. I'm going to redraw the Valenti one, I think. No, actually, I won't redraw the Valenti one because I'm not using a card with her. So that actually works. It'll give me a little bit of space. So boom, just a little bit of damage out there. That'll heal us as well because it's nice. We did get rid of the debuffs. Nothing crazy card draw wise. Obviously, Zeldris cards are preferred here because it's you just the gimmick here. You keep him on the left pillar. He is going to put gray food poisoning debuffs on himself, and that will end up just being the driving factor on what kills the boss in this phase. Because you can, I think he only has like a 10% damage cap here, so he's really tough to kill. Like actually using cards, so take that into consideration. Let's single target, AoE, and then I'm using cards for these characters anyway, so they're going to draw their ultimates back, I guess, so I don't really want to do anything. I mean, I'm going to draw the Glock's card, or the Glock's ultimate back. I don't want to get rid of the Zeldris card in case I just want to fire that off at one of these pillars, because it's probably going to be the thing that kills the pillar. Okay, ult stun into the Liz. That could be a problem, but I can Valenti card here. He puts the stance on this turn, so I'm going to test it just in case. I'm almost positive that we are going to... he's not going to move because he has stance on, so let's go ahead and... That Valenti card's actually going to cleanse all these debuffs, or not all of the debuffs actually, but it's going to cleanse a good amount of these debuffs off. And he's using 3 cards. They put 1 stack on a piece. So as long as I'm not getting 5 stacks, I'm chilling. I could throw an AoE out as well. Don't know that it's super necessary. I guess I could. We can just do this into this, I think. Just get as much damage out on the pillars as I possibly can here. So... I'm gambling a little bit. Okay, 2.4 mil. I don't think they have damage cap on. They must not. So he's not moving because he's stanced up. He's like, okay, I'm good. We're chilling. So no movement. That's where you want to be. He has 2 food poisoning debuffs on himself now. I think once he gets 4 is where he's gonna push phase. So do kind of keep that in mind. We do have another Zeldris single target as well, which is really nice. Let's go ahead and cleanse. I would like to maybe ult recycle here, but not a huge deal. Let's go ahead and throw this out, this out, this out. Try to kill that pillar off. Because, he can't die unless the other 2 pillars are gone. He has immortality. Yeah, immortality. Can't fall below 1 HP. Boom. Nice. Okay, so at this point... We're game. We're literally just stalling. I think he dies on his turn, unfortunately. So I'm pretty sure you'll end up, or I think it's the end of his turn. So unfortunately, no matter what your cleanse or like your debuffs look like, even if you cleanse them off, he's gonna apply debuffs on you and then die the next turn, unfortunately. So you'll probably go into the next phase with some debuffs on, which is unfortunate, but it just kind of is what it is. I think what I'm going to do here is move a Valenti card and get rid of my debuffs like that. Throw this AoE out. Because on this next phase, I like stalling with him in the middle long enough for me to kill the left pillar off before he moves at all, because on phase 3, you keep him in the middle pillar to lose HP related stats, so that way you can deal more damage to him, because he does gain a lot of HP back on that phase. And you want him nowhere near the left. You don't want him on that left pillar at all. Left pillar, really bad. So, we do have pretty high ultimate move gauge for some of these characters, which is not great. I would really like to not have that be the case, but unfortunately, it just kind of is what it is. So if I draw ultimates here, I'm just going to have to try to get rid of them, because I'm going to try to stall. Because if you use ultimates, if you debuff him, he will leave the field, come back. And I'm pretty sure when he does that, he doesn't pop the debuff or like whatever the advantage or disadvantage is of him being on the pillar. So I don't think he'll end up gaining or losing HP related stats right here on turn 1. But going forward, each turn that he stays on this this middle pillar, he should end up losing stats, or yeah, HP-related stats. So I'm just going to try to kill the left pillar as much as possible, because if he gets on that one, he puts on a stance, he gains debuff immunity, he can't be debuffed at all, you can't move him, it's GG, you've lost. So let's get rid of this out of our hand. We still have a debuff over there, so I'm kind of tempted to just use... gain a little bit of ultimate move gauge here. Or like lose ultimate move gauge. Does this have a damage cap on it? 33%. So maybe I don't go like sicko mode with that. What is... Okay, never seen that before. Let's get rid of the ultimate. That's fine. You can... I've seen it and I've done it. You can put one debuff on if you really need to. If you put one debuff on, he'll stay in the middle. He'll just leave the field, come back into the middle. I try to just prevent it altogether. I just don't want it to happen at all. So I think I'm going to do this into... I kind of want to use the Liz card just to get it out of my hand. So I think I will, but I'm going to draw the Liz ultimate and the Zeldris ultimate here. So kind of screwing my card draw here. Probably just should have used the Zeldris card. Okay, not bad. We do get petrified on this phase, so do take that into consideration. If you're putting the buffs on and stuff like that from Liz, they're probably going to get taken off from the ultimate, so that's fine. We are taking a little bit of damage. That is the one thing that can be a little problematic here, is that I'm trying to make sure I'm not using my Liz ultimate as much as I possibly can until I absolutely have to, because I want him to stay on this middle pillar and lose these HP stacks. I thought it was HP related, so. Because he has a ton of HP. He's minus 20% now, and he still has 2 mil HP, and he's just like, he gains a lot back. You need him on the right pillar to finish the phase to remove the immortalities, but I like to get at least 2, but ideally 3 of these HP decreases on him. So let's do debuff on the left pillar into some of these Zeldris cards, I think. We're going to go ahead and gain some crit damage here, so that way I can just try to kill this thing off as easily as possible, because if you can get all 3 debuffs to move him to the right, that's fine. Sometimes I'll just kind of like make sure that the left pillar is gone, do a couple of ultimates. Sometimes he'll move on there on his own, sometimes he'll stay in the middle, and then I can kind of just keep prepping cards and stuff. You got to know what's going to move him and if it's the right time to move him, really. So we don't have any other Zeldris cards. He does have 2 stacks on at this point. I could just go for it. I could just ult this pillar, call it a day, easy peasy. I think because we have all 3 debuffs in hand, I think I'm just going to stall a turn. I'm going to get rid of all these ults out of my hand, maybe. He's going to ult me and get rid of my buff anyway. So it's not really a... I shouldn't even worry about the... I don't think I'm going to do that. What is happening with these cards? Show me my cards. I think we'll get rid of the Valenti ultimate for sure. And then... I guess we'll just stall for a turn, because this is going to give him his 3rd stack. He is ulting us, which I'm a little afraid of, but it's not like a huge deal. He is now attacking into us. He's not unpetrifying, which is a kind of a dick move, let's be honest. We have 2 of these AoEs, so I'm going to use this to get rid of the petrification on everybody, and then I am going to get rid of the left pillar at this point. So at this point, if he moves right after the pillar is dead, I don't care. We'll just proceed. If he stays in the middle, I'll just debuff him and move him to the right manually. So he does move right on his own. That's great. Do note that, you know, the ultimate still could potentially move him, so I need to make sure that I'm not moving him back to the middle. And if he stays on the right for too long, you'll gain the gray food poisoning debuffs, because that's actually what ends up getting rid of the immortality stacks. The more of those you have on, the more immortality stacks he loses. So ideally, you don't want to get, you know, these gray debuffs on you and then move him back to the middle, because then you're just going to be taking unnecessary damage. So that would be bad. So let's go ahead and just try and single target into this thing as much as possible. Try to get rid of this pillar ASAP, so that way we can just start throwing ultimates as much as we want, and we won't have to worry about anything. He is going to ult us here, but I'm not too worried about it. Okay, good Zeldris cards in hand too, which is fantastic. That means hopefully I can kill the pillar in the middle here. He is already putting on food poisoning debuffs, so at the beginning, I think, of my turn, he's going to lose immortality stacks. It's his turn, I think, maybe. Okay, that's fine, though. We did take a little bit of damage here, so I'm a little antsy about that. I think we can just throw ults, though. I think we can just throw all of these cards and this ultimate. That should kill the middle pillar. I don't have Liz ult in hand, which is a little scary. I should probably have played for that. But this is going to kill. I might have messed up a little bit here because, like, you know, he's going to attack me. I have to use the Liz card. Well, I do pull a Flood, so that's nice. I'll get some HP back, but, you know, it would be nice to have that ultimate in hand ready to use as soon as I can, so that way we're back topped up to full, because Valenti's a little low, which means that she could potentially be the target of his next attack. So I don't have an ult removal. He's not using the ult this turn, actually, which is good too. This lasts for 4 turns, but I think he removes them every time he, like, leaves the field and everything, so I don't think it'll actually last that long. This looks pretty good, though. So we did a little bit of damage there with the Flood card. Not much at all, so you don't really rely on that as your main heal. A little bit of damage there. He does, like I said, he does get, like, pretty good health back in this phase. No Zeldris cards is pretty annoying. We're going to ult, though. We're going to get his ultimate. We do now have 2 gray debuffs on us, which means that we're going to be losing 30%. Yeah, 30% of our max HP every turn. So ideally here, we're just going to be playing into card draw as much as humanly possible. We're going to try to just let things merge, hopefully draw Zeldris cards as much as we possibly can. I did recycle the Liz ultimate, which is fine. I mean, you do want to keep that kind of as much as you possibly can too, because like I said, I'm taking 30% here, and he's going to be attacking me each turn. So no extra Zeldris cards themselves. So that kind of sucks, but, you know, my actual characters can do some decent damage too. If he's attacking into Valenti like this, if he crits, he does a ton of damage. So the crit resistance rolls we have are vital in that sense. So be very careful about that. We get really good merge here to get rid of some of these cards out of our hand. I think we can go ahead and just recycle the ultimate as well, so that way we are chilling if we need it. He just has a ton of HP. So we need consistent, like, damage over and over and over again, so that way we can actually get him down to 0. We've lost all of his immortality stacks at this point, so it's just up to us to do damage. Zeldris AoE is fine, I guess. We'll actually draw his ultimate again next turn too. He has good lifesteal, I think, is what the huge, like, issue is. This one, this run is not as good as some of my previous ones have been this week, or like in previous weeks, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and ult with Valenti first. Because we put the debuff on, we're going to hit with Zeldris, and then we're going to I really want to... Maybe I'll just save the Zeldris card. No, I need to use the Zeldris card, actually. So let's go ahead and ult with Valenti, use this, and then we'll Liz cycle. I kind of want to use that... I kind of want to use this Gloxinia ultimate because it's a really good like single target ultimate, but at the end of the day, I need to Liz cycle so that way I can stay, you know, keep my HP in check. So ultimate, we draw another AoE. Ooh, Zeldris took a lot of damage there. I might be screwed. I might be dead here. Okay, goes for Liz. God, he's just getting so much HP back. It's so stupid. Okay, let's go for debuff, attack. I need Liz passive. I don't know if he can put more than 3 of these on me. Can be stacked, so I think he can. Yikes. We're in a bad spot. That level 3 does nothing. That's crazy. If I could have gotten more Zeldris cards here, I think I would have been fine, but this looks like it's going to end up being a lost run, and I knew that because I was recording this, it was going to end up just not working out. That's so stupid how I literally first try, 3 weeks in a row, try to record it, falls flat. That's so dumb. Okay. I mean, we're tanking. Hitting Zeldris always scares me because I don't have crit resistance gear on him. Let's go for card draw and Liz cycle. If I can get like a good Zeldris single target card, then I can debuff, ult with Zeldris, single target with Zeldris, and hopefully Glock's ult and kill. But can I survive? I still don't get the Zeldris cards that I need. This AoE is scary. Oh my god. It's double AoE. Well, I die. It's the boss for you. Well, I guess, unfortunately, I'm going to have to reset this because there's nothing I can do about that. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I'm on the final phase again. I have him with 3 HP lowers, which is where I want him to be. I think what I forgot to do in the first run was to try and get him down a little bit HP-wise before I push him over to the right pillar. Because I think when he gets on the right pillar, he just has more stats and stuff in general. Because like if you look at what is this? Okay, I accidentally backed all the way out. Okay, it's just HP increase. Never mind. I was thinking maybe he was getting sort of like lifesteal increase or something like that from this. I assume he's getting some sort of stats on the right because it makes him, you know, gain a lot of HP back, and it's hard to keep him down like that. I've done a little bit of like a small juggle, I guess. I moved him to the right pillar, did a little bit of damage to the left pillar, moved him back to the left pillar, so that way I can just get some damage off on him. I think what we're gonna do here is I don't have any extra like specific debuff card, which is kind of unfortunate. So he doesn't have a debuff on him at the moment. I think we're just gonna go ahead and ult, use this, cycle, throw the AoE out. If he moves to the right, we'll take it from there. If he stays here, we will get a little bit more damage out on him and then move him manually with the debuff cards. So right pillar's getting a little bit of damage. Okay, he moves to the right pillar anyway. I do still have to kill the middle pillar here, so that is going to be a little bit scary. I did get some good Zeldris cards, though, so hopefully we can keep it up and keep drawing decent Zeldris cards, because that is kind of the make-or-break situation here for me. And this does have 33% damage cap on it, doesn't it? Yes, so that should deal okay damage. I think if I can get him to, like with those cards right there, I'm not 100% sure. Well, I guess I can use the ultimate. So let me use this. That puts poison. This is shock. We're going to hit with the Zeldris single target, and then we're going to make sure we secure a kill with the ultimate here. If this gets him to 66, which I doubt Valenti does by herself, I was going to say we could kill with Zeldris, the extra damage would go out onto the rat. The ultimate actually did some pretty good damage. He's at 20% right here. No pillars left. Now we just need to keep him low without him healing all the way back up to full, which is going to be probably a little rough because he is gaining a ton of HP back with every single attack, which is really stupid. So Zeldris cards are my saving grace here. So let's go ahead and... Is there any card merges that I can do? Let's go ahead and recycle this Liz passive. And then use this debuff into this single target so that way we're not wasting too many Zeldris cards. Because the Zeldris cards hit really hard. I'm pretty sure they're going to be hitting damage cap, which means that if I can just save those up, I can take big chunks of the health bar away as much as possible. So I just need him to apply the gray debuffs at this point while also keeping him low so that way we can end up getting rid of his immortality, and then we should be okay. We should be fine at that point. I mean, maybe you could stack him even higher on the HP decrease just to make things even easier, but I mean, you know, you're trying to get this over with. I assume. I mean, better safe than sorry, of course, but you know, be careful with it. You don't want to overextend if you don't have to. Let's go ahead and Liz passive cycle, because why wouldn't we? We can debuff into... I guess we need to debuff ultimate Liz cycle this turn, I think. That I don't even need to cleanse, because the Valenti's going to cleanse for us. And we can just try to stack as much damage as we can using the Liz ultimate second, so that way I'm getting ultimate move gauge back onto Zeldris, just in case. We do have him at 1 HP right here, but of course that's not going to last. We do have gray debuffs, but I think it's one per gray debuff you have on yourself, he loses 1 immortality stack. So because we all 4 have 1, he's losing 4 per turn. If he applies a second stack of them, he'll lose 8 per turn, I think. I'm not 100% positive on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. At this point, we're in a really solid position. I think I'm not worried about his ultimate pretty much in the slightest. So let's go ahead and use ults and cycle. We have the Zeldris stuff in hand. This is going to keep him down at 1 HP. This is perfect. This is basically how it goes normally. I don't know why. I guess I just didn't do basically any damage to him before moving him to the right pillar. Took me too many good cards to take the middle pillar out, and then I was just stuck and having bad card draw whenever he was actually able to be killed, which was very unfortunate, but that does happen. So we now have 2 stacks on. He has 4 gray debuffs left, or 4 immortality stacks left. So at this point, I think we've GG'd. I think we ult here, cycle that passive, throw a debuff on, and let's go ahead and single target just because I know that it'll hit damage cap. That should, I mean, depending on Valenti's damage, that should either get him like really, really low or 1 HP. I think that'll be 1 HP. Yes, okay, and then I'm drawing Zeldris' ultimate, Valenti's ultimate, everything is fine. At this point, we're chilling. So all of the gray immortalities are gone. He can be killed. We have very nice damage cards in hand. We even drew an extra single target from Zeldris, which is phenomenal. That's really the biggest issue on this phase in general, is just if you can't get cards for your DPS character, it all falls apart, unfortunately. So, no need to heal or anything. We just go full send. We kill. Easy peasy. Even though I had to reset once. So, I figured that was going to happen. I said it at the beginning of the video. This has been probably extremely long. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions for me, or like mechanic-wise or anything like that, by all means, feel free to ask. If I don't know, hopefully somebody else does. But this is how I'm beating it every week, most of the time, first try. But obviously you've seen, you know, just RNG is the main factor here, and it's a long fight. It takes forever. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I would enjoy you coming back. If you have any requests for videos or anything like that, I'll try to get to them. Obviously, sometimes with a boss like this, with it being super specific and everything, I don't typically like messing around with like gimmicky sort of like, this new character came out, I'm going to try it on the new boss. Like, that's fine and cool and everything, but if they're not actually going to be able to beat the boss, there's no point in actually like putting a video out on it, because like I mean, unless you just want to beat floors 1 and 2, which can be done by a multitude of extra characters, you know, floor 3 is really where it matters. That feels like the only reason I would make a video on something like that. So either way. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you guys later.